So it's good to see you got the memo about the striped t-shirt and the navy chinos.
I don't think it's actually the Cora and Spink uniform.
Yeah, oh, is that what it is?
I think it is, yes. Right.
So, Cora and Spink.
Cora and Spink.
What is Cora and Spink all about?
In a nutshell, backpacks. In a nutshell, backpacks. I can't even really go on to expand it for more than that because it is just about the backpack and everything that goes into what is a backpack, really. Yeah.
So what inspired you to stop what you were doing in the real world and then start this journey? How long's the journey been now?
Oh God, it's approaching 5 years now.
Wow.
Yeah. I was fed up with working for other people. I saw an opportunity in the backpacks that I wanted as a consumer were too expensive or too cheap. And there was nothing that really ticked all of my boxes. And so I had to go out there and make it myself.
Brilliant.
Yeah, it was that simple. I got fed up with backpacks that were really, really expensive, but they weren't expensive for a reason.
Yeah.
And I felt that.
So you couldn't work out why they were expensive, what they represented from a value point of view.
That was very important.
Yeah.
That was really, and I think that goes back into my history of working in textile companies. It was like, well, why is that costing that? You know, and why is something, and on the flip side, why is something so cheap?
Yeah.
That was
cheap isn't always good.
Absolutely. I mean, for everything that we put into Cora and Spink, it is the end product at the right price, rather than it being really expensive or really cheap. It is just ensuring that it is the right quality, the right price, and it has the features that we really, really want.
So apart from your love and your passion that you put into these backpacks, what stands them apart from their competitors?
It is absolutely the quality. It really is. When I set out, I had to make sure, or my goal was to make sure that it was made out of natural materials. I really wanted a canvas-based backpack. That was absolutely the most important. Canvas waxed, so it had that water repellent sort of feature. So as far as I'm aware, I would say that Cora and Spink is probably the only waxed canvas backpack on the market at this price point, but a canvas that we develop and have made ourselves. So amongst other things, and sustainability, of course, you know, in today's age, that's a buzzword, but we know everybody that's making the product.
Which I think is really important as well, certainly for an independent. Talk to me about the colours, because the colours are really vibrant. What was that something that you wanted as one of the tick boxes that you wanted to have?
This comes back to the waxed canvas, which where do you see waxed canvas? You see it like on like barber jackets, your traditional type waxed jacket type products, and there's nothing wrong with that. I love those products, but I wanted something that had the features of that, but then wasn't your traditional classical tones. So we went the opposite way. We went everything away from that heritage type status into whatever colours that we could or chose to develop.
So your first backpack, which was your first backpack that you developed?
The first backpack, it doesn't exist anymore.
Oh no.
It doesn't exist anymore. The very first backpack was actually, so I know, let's grab one. It was really similar to the poly bag actually. Yeah. It was really similar to that. Only it wasn't actually a backpack then, it was more of a satchel.
Right.
And the original backpacks that I first developed, they have evolved into more of the postal or the roll top pickle bag.
Which is the one I use.
Which is the one that you've been using now for 18 months or so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So again, what I like as a consumer with one of these bags is it's a really good size. I can put so much in it, and I like the fact that it's got the roll top and it's got the extra security, but it's the little finishing details on it. And again, I'm assuming that's something that you really thought about when you were building these things.
I think that this is, you and I share a similar sort of attitude to this. it's the little details that you can just spot after you've had it for a few months, and I think that those are little things that tickle my fancy as a geek. You know, I like to have that, and it's never like, what is that for? But it's like, oh, I didn't realise.
Oh, it does that.
I think that's, you know, from my perspective as a designer, it's like, what can we do to make it interesting? And so sometimes they're a little fancy free, but I would definitely say that it keeps fun in designing the product.
So you start with the backpack, and you're much more than backpacks. So when I've looked across your range, it literally ticks every box as far as a bag, types of bags, colours. So what are some of your more innovative pieces that you've done at the moment?
Design and design innovation, I think, could be summed up in something like postal bag, which is...
Take that one off and just have a...
Yeah, it's a very unique shape. And you talk, you know, we've just said fancy free or little design tweaks. It is... it's a bag that we always say it's like 2-dimensional, then becomes 3-dimensional, and that is across the board. So not only is it physically 2-dimensional and then 3-dimensional, all of the canvas over time becomes relaxed and worn in, and I think that that's something that's important to us. But it's got this sort of, and this is actually my bag that I'm using at the moment. It's 2-dimensional. But then it opens up when you start using it. It opens up
completely different bag, doesn't it?
A completely different bag, and the silhouette when you're wearing it, it changes, and
it fits quite ergonomically, doesn't it? On the back, it's very comfortable.
Well,
that reflective stripe on it as well. That's pretty cool.
That, I mean, I think at the end of the day, we could design anything to be anything, but the backpack, by its very nature, has to pretty much have 2 straps. So that the human body dictates where certain elements of a backpack go, and then you build around some of those constraints, if you like. If I were to design a product that wasn't practical, then I don't think it would be interesting for me, because it would become too fancy free and not practical by very nature of design.
Yeah, we talked about the fabric as well. So the fabric is something that I really like. I'm a bit of a fabric geek. We've had this conversation before. But what I like about it is that it gains a life after a certain time. So my bag now, 3, 2, 1, back in the room.
Hang on. Let me just
loosen up.
The thing is, this will be much better now that we've actually loosened up. So but there we go. I'm not a fan of being on camera, really. Really? Ta-da!
What's next, Tim? What's next for Cora? So what is the ultimate goal for Cora Spink?
The ultimate goal, good question. It's always been one where we are producing products that I love myself. It's almost like the curse, if you like. I'm always chasing to make something that I absolutely love, and as a designer, as a creative, I like my products, but I can always see the future. So I'm always chasing that dream a little bit. I want to, in the very near future, I want to improve our range of colours. I think that we're missing our spectrum of colours. We've got a great range of colours, but I think that we're missing some key colours. And I think that then there's an element of not looking too far into the future and allowing the brand to organically develop a little bit. There's certainly designs out there that I would like to develop. My dad actually is a little bit of a source of inspiration, and he's for ages had this like a roll-up utility bag for his wash kit and his razor and stuff that he hangs up on the back of the bathroom door. So it's things like that that I would like to, I'm inspired by, I think, and certainly now that we're allowed to travel a little bit, I do collect.
Hallelujah.
Hallelujah. As I'm allowed to collect stuff, I'm always being inspired by oh, they've utilised this, they've utilised that. But
So
yeah.
the canvas,
Yeah.
is that like a nod then to the sort of canvas bags that you would have seen, I don't know, sort of early 1900s? So like the bags are all made of this heavy sort of drill canvas, like they are.
It's not just furniture
Yeah.
that we're buying, but it's that, I think.
How old is this?
That is from the 1940s or the 1950s.
And it says Bergen's an original Bergen then. So
Yeah.
the Bergens, I know the name Bergen because it's synonymous with armed forces.
Yes.
So a Bergen was a huge metal frame backpack like this, which you could carry about 40 kilos in or more.
Yeah.
This thing, so made in Oslo, Norway, that is incredible.
So I don't
And
know
this is
whether
all leather as well, isn't it?
it's leather.
Wow.
Obviously, that's not something that we go for these
Yeah.
days. But
That's an additional piece. That wouldn't have been from the 40s.
no,
would it?
no. So
Wow.
this is the sort of stuff that I love looking at.
Yeah.
You know, the inner details of the handmade nature of
Yeah.
what